I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Today we're going to be reading about the Great Smoky Mountains. The past few days we've been learning about national parks, the Biscayne National Parks and the Everglades, and both of those were in Florida. Today's park's in a new state, and I want you to see if you can count how many different states this national park is in and see if you've ever been to any of them. The Great Smoky Mountains. More than 10 million people visit the Great Smoky Mountains National Park every year, more than any other park in the country. Why is it so popular? Find out by hiking through 5 different forest types, from low, dry hardwoods to high spruce woods that smell like Christmas trees. Scenic vistas over the mountains pop out everywhere. In the spring, the land is covered in wildflowers. In fall, the deciduous trees turn into a rainbow of reds, oranges, and golds. Hear some sticks crackling? It could be one of the park's 1,500 black bears poking around for berries, or maybe a white-tailed deer looking for forage. Rain is common, so cinch up your rain slicker or just enjoy the wet, cool mist and the sounds of the moving water that ring through the forest. Take a look at these pictures. What do you think these people are doing? It looks like they're exploring, they're hiking, and they've even found a waterfall. Waterfalls are very common in the Great Smoky Mountains, and they're one of the great things you can hike to. You can hike to a waterfall or to the top of a mountain where you can look out over everything. Some of the animals we're going to learn about before I turn the page, you might already know, and you might see some of the same animals near your house. So the Great Smoky Mountains are in North Carolina and Tennessee. They were founded in 1934, and they're 522,427 acres. So they're pretty big. Our first animal we're going to learn about is the downy woodpecker. I've seen a bird that looks similar to that in my backyard. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. That's the rapid-fire sound of a downy woodpecker hammering its hard beak against a tree in the forest. A brook trout. Look how colorful that fish is. These colorful striped fish live in cool streams high in the mountains. Fishers love them for their beauty and delicate flavor. So you can even eat that fish. Ooh, here's a really common animal in North Carolina and Tennessee. It's the black bear. Black bears mainly eat nuts, fruits, dead animals, and the occasional ant colony. They can run as fast as 30 miles per hour. Then we have this interesting looking plant. This is called Jack in the Pulpit. This park has more flowering plants than any other park. There's over 1,500 species. Jack in the Pulpit's roots are toxic when raw. That means they're poisonous. But Native Americans knew how to dry them and cook them properly before eating. Wonder what they taste like. Here's a pygmy shrew. What a funky looking animal that is. These tiny burrowing mammals weigh less than a dime, but can give birth to as many as 8 babies at a time. So think about how much a dime weighs or how heavy a dime feels in your hand. That's not very much at all, so these must be really small animals. Let's go ahead and learn about our dangerous or interesting animals. So these are synchronous butterflies. It's a tricky word. Fireflies, also known as lightning bugs, only live for about 3 weeks. But during their brief lives, they put on amazing light shows with their glowing bellies. Synchronous fireflies, one of the park's 19 species of lightning bugs, are the only kind that can time their flashes all at once. In May and June, these colorful beetles light up whole hillsides in waves of greenish-yellow lights and attract visitors on firefly tours. So these fireflies are able to kind of communicate to each other in time so that they all light up at once. I bet that looks like Christmas lights to see them all light up. Let's learn about the flame azaleas. These are one of my favorite flowers to find in the national parks. Growing as high as 12 feet, which is twice as tall as Miss Butler, flame azaleas have showy reddish-orange flowers that are the size of golf balls. Salamanders. I bet you can find some salamanders in a creek or pond near your house. 30 species of salamanders live in this park, more than any other place in the world. Pick them up with a plastic bag so you don't damage their skin, which they use to breathe. Let's learn about this great horned owl. What a cool looking bird. The great horned owl, with excellent hearing and night vision, the great horned owl swoops down after dark to grab mice, snakes, rabbits, and even other owls. The eastern hemlock. This looks like a funky Christmas tree to me. Some of the park's eastern hemlocks sprouted as long ago as the 1750s. That's before our country was born. So before America even became the country of the United States of America, this tree was starting to grow. It's been here for a long time. Let's learn about some of those waterfalls that we saw in that first picture. More than 2,000 miles of streams weave through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. With lots of steep land, that means only one thing: waterfalls. Ramsey Cascades is the tallest waterfall in the park, tumbling down slippery, algae-covered rocks for about 100 feet. Sometimes, if the sun angle is just right, you can even see tiny rainbows in the waterfall's mists. Cemeteries. What an odd thing to be learning about with the national parks. Let's see what they've got to say. Euro-American settlers lived in the hidden valleys of the Smokies starting in the early 1800s. Since they were so far from towns, everything had to be made by hand, from materials found in the forest. So they were often skilled woodworkers and craftspeople. With no doctors, schools, or stores, life was tough. You can still visit their old barns and cabins today. About 150 cemeteries remain. Find the old headstones overgrown with grass and shrubs. Some date back to more than 200 years old. Wow. So did you see any animals in the Great Smoky National Park that you've seen at your house? Hopefully so. Now next week we're going to start off by learning about the Acadia National Park. This one is very unique and very different than what we know here in Georgia. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I can't wait to see you back here on Monday. Bye!